Remove the rear trunk garnish with the trim removal tool. It comes off pretty easily, but once you get it pried away, you have to disconnect the trunk button, and then you can pull it away from the body completely. Now you're going to remove the two 5/16 bolts and one 8mm nut from each taillight. Disconnect the taillight wiring harnesses from the taillights, and then you're going to remove the taillights from the body. I had a small issue with the initial left taillight. They sent it with the right tab, so they had to send me another left tab, and I just replaced the incorrect tab with the tab they sent me. It was a simple fix. I just removed the 4 screws from the incorrect tab and reinstalled the correct tab with the same 4 screws. Now I removed the lower cover on each of the stock taillights with a T20 Torx and reinstalled the cover onto each of the new Hansshow taillights. Installing the Hansshow taillights is pretty easy. Just have to make sure the tabs align with the body holes. Run the wiring harnesses through the existing body holes, and make sure the waterproofing plug is securely in place. After you do that, you can plug the wiring harness into the taillight harness. Make sure you pull the smaller harness through the tab hole that's lined up for the light bar, so the smaller harness won't go through the body hole to the existing harness. Now you lightly tighten the 5/16 bolts onto the taillights just to make sure alignment is good. Now you can install the light bar and make sure the bolts align with the body holes and the tabs that are on the taillights, and connect the light bar wiring harness to the left and right taillights. Aligning the bolts with the bolt holes in the body and the tabs on the taillights isn't the easiest task, but with some slight adjustments, you can make sure that the holes do align. I had to readjust several times to make sure that the light bar was straight and there were no body gaps or gaps in between the light bar and the taillights. This took quite a bit of time, but I wanted it to look right, so I made sure that everything was aligned before I tightened both bolts and nuts. Now you can bring the rear trunk garnish up and connect the trunk button. Once you connect the trunk button, you can reinstall the rear trunk garnish. It takes a little bit of force to make sure that the trim pieces pop in and the retaining clips are secure. Here's what it looks like when it's fully installed. It took about an hour and 15 minutes to fully install.